Across the Caribbean, the fight over Airbnbs and short-term rentals is definitely heating up. Governments from Barbados to Jamaica are introducing new bills to regulate the sector. But critics warn that these laws could devastate thousands of small property owners and shift billions of dollars away from locals back into the hands of big chain hotels, some of which are not even from the Caribbean. Let's get into this. In Barbados, the administration has tabled the Tourist Accommodation Bill 2025. The legislation requires every short-term rental operator to register with the government in order to obtain licenses and submit to inspections. The penalties are severe. Failure to comply could mean fines of up to $250,000. The government says the measure is about protecting Barbados' brand as a premier destination, ensuring that all accommodations meet the international standards of safety, quality, and accessibility. Tourism Minister Ian Gooding Edgell argues that without strong regulations, the island risks losing credibility in a competitive global market. But many operators see it differently. Industry figures warn the bill could force the closure of over 6,500 small and micro-rental operators, cutting ordinary Bajans out of more than $300 million in income next season alone. An online petition calling for the bill to be suspended and redrafted has already pulled in more than 1,000 signatures. The petitioners say they support standards, but the current draft unfairly favors large foreign-owned hotel groups while crushing local entrepreneurs. One property manager told local media, "This bill has nothing to do with quality. On Airbnb, poor properties naturally fail because of reviews. This is about money, power, and control, moving it away from the average Bajan and back to the big hotels, which are nearly all foreign owned." And right here in Jamaica, the same battle is playing out, but with even sharper political divides. The government recently introduced a bill requiring all short-term rental operators, including Airbnb hosts and small villas, to be licensed and regulated under the Jamaica Tourist Board, or JTB. The proposed law also sets out heavy criminal penalties. Clause 17 of the bill has been described by the opposition leader, Mark Golding, as a sort of Damocles hanging over small property owners. If an Airbnb with fewer than 50 rooms isn't registered or licensed, the operator could face up to 1 million Jamaican dollars in fines or even 12 months in prison for larger properties. The penalty is double. The opposition leader argued that while hotels have been lobbying for regulation, the thousands of Jamaicans who invested in apartments and townhouses for Airbnb were barely consulted. The bill as it stands risks criminalizing ordinary Jamaicans who are simply trying to earn a living, he said. Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett, however, defended the bill, saying it will modernize and clarify tourism law, covering not just hotels, but also attractions, water sports, short-term rentals. He insisted that his ministry has held heavy and strong consultations with Airbnb leadership in Jamaica. Now, while that bill hasn't been passed, critics are still arguing.
Someone intended to purchase the property to be able to live there for a while and then Airbnb it. And it was only later on, I asked them the questions, what is your intention with the property? And I said, yeah, man, I just buy it, man, to live in it. And then they said, oh, I was speaking with the realtor the other day and they said that Airbnb is allowed. And I said, but when I look at the documents here, it says no short-term rentals. So I can't have you sign this because if you intend to do that, I don't want you to say later down the lawyer
tell me not to.
You understand? So that's why I think so. Any sort of course, always communicate with the attorney and communicate with your mortgage agent as well, because the timing between the lawyer and the mortgage agent is key.
So when this thing is going to
closes, because if you're getting a mortgage, it's normally about 60 to 120 days.
Yes.
And so everybody has to be keeping in touch. So I would have Paulette's email address and say, Paulette, where are we with the process? Oh, Sean, I need something from them.
Yes.
Oh, you need an ID? The ID had expired. They need I have the new one. Here it is.
Yes, and that way we don't have to be asking the attorney to give us extensions.
Yes, because everything is in place.
Time is gone.
In the tourism minister's view, it means that the sector is just too large to remain unregulated. What's really clear is that across the region, governments are determined to bring Airbnbs and short-term rentals under tighter control. Is that for image? Is that for making money? We're not sure. Supporters of regulation say it will level the playing field, raise standards, and ensure safety for visitors. Critics, on the other hand, argue that it risks stripping wealth away from locals and channeling it back to the international hotel chains, many of which already dominate the Caribbean's tourism sector. For countries where tourism makes up as much as 40% of the GDP, the stakes could be higher. Will new regulations create a safer, more consistent tourism product? Or will they choke off one of the few ways ordinary Caribbean people can directly benefit from tourism dollars? The debate is far, far from over. In Barbados, the bill is now before the Senate. And in Jamaica, the debate has been suspended indefinitely. But one thing is certain, the outcome will reshape Caribbean tourism for years to come. For the African Diaspora News Channel, I'm Whitney Mckoy. Until next time, stay connected.